So today in Masterclass, I want to go over the tech programs that make my world work. And I'm going to try really hard to do this in light of being a wellness practitioner who's looking to run their practice without staff. Because as many of you know, I wear a lot of hats in the world. So I'm going to go over my go-to programs. I'm not going over Jane app today because we did a Geek Out with Alex session in the big pink Facebook group this past week. You can go into the guide section there, the Staffless Practice community group, for all of our Jane app videos. Today, I'm going to go over like what I keep in my back pocket when it comes to technology. I'm going to try to go slow because I recognize that not everybody is as comfortable with technology as I am. And as Tammy gets her sound on, what I beg of you guys is if you're one of my coaching clients and we're working on other stuff, do not get overwhelmed with this content. Just let it go to a happy little corner of your brain and we will come back to it when the time is right, okay? I just want to put the concepts in your brain. Okay, so the first thing I want to explain to you is, and as many of you know, I'm a chiropractor, a pediatric and prenatal chiropractor. So the audience that I'm speaking to is young families looking to find solutions to raise their kids naturally. They've got the time, the energy, the resources to give more and do more for their family. That's who I'm reaching. And I do so, Ken, I'm like on all of the people coming in and I see you going for it, but I'm one step ahead of you, buddy. I do so in a everybody's best friend, sister kind of way. I wouldn't call myself professional by any means, right? So when you hear me and see me go through some of the stuff, you might think, God, that's so unprofessional. That's so not doctor-like. This is just how I roll. This is my cut. So take what I'm about to share with you and apply it to your world. When I'm done sharing in about 15 minutes, I'm going to open it up to people who there are a couple of people who use FullScript who wanted to share on that. I actually called FullScript yesterday to see if they wanted to come into our masterclass, and they were like, it's way too late for, I'm like, that's how we roll around here. Come on, buddy, chop, chop. So the first thing I'm going to show you, and I'm going to go through this pretty quickly, and know that if you're one of my clients, you have content on this inside of the Academy. If you need a one-on-one session with me and you're not already a client, then just say, Jodi, I need time with you, and we'll go over how this information can apply to your practice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. The only other thing I wanted to say is at the time this is being recorded, this Monday evening, we are starting a two-part make and take for 6 weeks worth of Facebook posts. So how do you decorate them? How do you brand them? How do you post them? All of those things. So some of the things that you see me talking about have to do with what we're going to be hitting on Monday as well. Okay, so here comes me sharing my screen. So I want to go over just my favorite programs and how I use them in my world. So the first thing I want to show you, basic Google Workspace. And you guys have to understand, I get like 300 emails a day. You probably do too. So there are ways to work around Google to make life a lot easier. So one of the things that we suggest heavily is that you have a pre-branded email. And pre-branded, and again, this is something that we do for you if you're one of our clients. The pre-branded email looks like you got a fancy signature that goes with your brand. We create a brand kit together, which we're going to be doing in the workshop on Monday. You have hyperlinks to all of your social media accounts. And then my new favorite thing is you have a QR code. And if somebody points and clicks at that QR code, it's my business card. And they'll take what shows up on their phone and they'll turn it into a contact on their phone. And it has all of my necessary things. The cool thing about the QR code program is I can go in at any time and I can change the information in it and it won't change the code. So let me just log in here and show you what I'm talking about. And I like having a QR code because it's simple. It's everybody knows what it does. Like people are super familiar with it. So here's the QR code for my business card. And you guys can certainly point and click at this code right here with your cell phone, right? It works through a computer. And then if I click on details, I can change the details I can even see who's opened it. That's kind of cool too, right? So the sky's the limit and where you can go with QR code. I like having it in my email. It's like one more thing that I can give to people if they're trying to get in touch with me. But even more than that, it's one less thing that I have to do, right? The other thing about your Google Workspace, you want to make sure that you've got really relevant templates ready to just point and click. Point and click. It's all ready to go. It's an email ready to go. So what emails do you need to have ready to go for point and click for your practice to go where you want it to go? Okay, that's Google. The other thing, I added this to the closet. So you guys have an entire Google Drive folder called the closet. And in the closet for the Joy-Filled Practice, you got all kinds of fun stuff, right? Stuff that I throw at you in Staffless Practice Academy, stuff that just makes your world easier. Today, I added what's called the SOP sheet. I think one of you guys was asking, I think it was Alicia that was asking me for this. So Alicia, if you're watching the replay, here you go, darling. So the SOP sheet, Tammy, this is something that you would really love. It's simple, it's clear, everybody can have access to it. So here are the contacts for the practice, right? And I thought of all of the things. Here's the team information. Here are the office systems. Here are the office policies. Here are the documents that the practice uses. Here's the nutrition protocol for a patient. It's like a sheet already typed up for you. Here's a new patient checklist. Isn't that awesome, you guys? Here's a recall checklist, right? Here's a personal, I have issues, don't I? Here's a personal to-do list. Like this is the personal to-do list on steroids for like the ultimate organizer. It's even formatted so that if you type in what you want to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if you type in these fields, those things are going to show up in the columns in the sheet. There's a family to-do list. There's a practice to-do list. There is a super bill that I gave you. Like, how can I make your life easier? I'm giving you all of the things that I have made in Google Sheets that will save you time and energy. So here's my super bill. Here's a cheat sheet for independent contractors. How do you find an independent contractor? Or I'm sorry, how do you pay them? What are the pros and cons of each payment program, right? Here's a time map, like an empty time map with no color. Here's a time map with color. And here's a project invoice template. So that's the SOP sheet. That's just one sheet. And that one sheet you're going to find inside of the closet, which is where's the closet, you guys? My drive. Here it is. It has all kinds of other stuff in it too. It's just included in that. Any of the things that are in the closet, you're going to have to go file, make a copy, and make a copy of it so that you can use it. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to use it. Okay, so that is another computer program that is going to make your life easier. The next thing I want to go into is Zingle, the texting program that I talk over and over about. I just want to show it to you for 3 minutes or less. The reason I like Zingle is A, it's HIPAA compliant, B, it's super simple. The only thing it does is texting. There are no fancy features to it. So if everybody grabs your phone and texts the number 908 650 8879. 908 650 8879. And just text me a hey, what's up, whatever. And then watch my screen. Okay. So you'll start seeing texts come in here. You heard the text hit my inbox. There they are. You see that? And then what happens is this becomes my to-do list. So these are, let's say that these are practice members saying, I want to come in 10 minutes. Does that work for you? All of the texts that show up in my inbox become what I need to address. Even better if I have a virtual assistant who's running this text box for me. Even better if the reply to SUP is a template where it's already typed up and it's a point and click. Tammy, this is one of the things that we're creating for you. That's a Zingle inbox, you guys. I love it. It makes my world work. I'm going to warn you right now, Zingle's customer service is the worst, but we know every wraparound. We know every hiccup that comes up because I've been using it for years. Okay, so that's Zingle. It's $99 a month. For my people, if you're not one of my people, it's about $300 a month. Okay, the only other thing, oh, I want to go over two more. Is everybody good so far? Can I keep going? Okay, I want to go through ChatGTP just for a minute. I know that this is like talking politics to a group of wellness practitioners because there is a bit of creepiness when it comes to AI, but it's also really cool. Okay, so let's say inside of, and here's the link to get a ChatGTP account if you're interested in it. Let me just drop this in the chat. Okay. ChatGTP is for content if you're not a writing person. ChatGTP is for content if you are a writing person and you don't have time to eat your breakfast and you need to get a newsletter out. ChatGTP is content for posting, for newsletters, for website content, for writing a personal letter, a professional letter, you name it, you got it. So I'm going to say in ChatGTP, give me a letter to a gym owner about the price of tea in China. And it will write the letter for me. It's a little creepy and a little cool at the same time, right? It's still writing. Okay, so let's stop generating. And let's go, and then you can share a link to this chat. So let's go, give me a Facebook post about the top 3 reasons to get a massage. Ready? It's thinking. Is that crazy, you guys? So that, my friends, is ChatGPT. There obviously are pros and cons to it. The cons to it is it can ultimately make us so robotic it's not even funny. So I beg of you, if you use something like this, you put your personal voice in it. You go to every other line or whatever it is, and you put your voice in it. You read through it, you make sure that you agree with it. I had a friend of mine who is a really well-known doctor, and she had her VA write up a post for one of the programs that she's running, and the VA used ChatGPT and didn't tell her, and she could totally tell because she lost the point of the whole thing. So just be really mindful about how you use them. It's like playing with a dangerous toy, but it's a really fun toy. Okay, so I wanted to show you that, and then I also want to show you Monday.com because I would be remiss if I didn't mention it because we live on it around here. This is what we call a Scale OG board. This is our entire school on a Monday.com. It's all of the courses that we offer. And basically the way this works, if I want to go to the Appreciation and Consequences class, I click Access here. It gets me into the class. I watch the videos. I download the training for it. And all of this is stuff that we can either teach you how to create for your own course or that you'll use when you become one of our clients if you're not already a client. So that's Monday.com. The nice thing about Monday.com is you can do pretty much any list making or task organizing on it. And there are all kinds of automations involved, really cool stuff in Monday.com. We also have in Monday.com, and I should actually add this to the closet, templates for share. So we have, for example, a marketing board template, like what are you going to do your first week, your second week, your third week, what are your topics going to be, all of that stuff. And you guys, all of this is inside of the academy. We have a team checklist board, like Monday through Sunday. I'm telling you right now, if you have a team and you're not giving your people checklists to lean on, you're missing the boat. Most people who work for you or with you want a checklist to look at. If they don't want a checklist to look at, they will tell you. But lean on the idea that they do and that they need it, even if you don't. I have a checklist. You guys, I have so many checklists. This is just my checklist for today, right? So if you are, here's the thing, I'm just gonna kind of go off on a tangent for a minute. If you, and Lara and I talk about this a lot, if you have a team member and they're a part-time team member, especially if they're young, if they don't have a whole lot of life experience and they're overwhelmed, they may not even know that they're a checklist person. So part of the joy of being a team facilitator is getting to bring out the best in people, right? So let's use Tammy, for example. Tammy has all these amazing people working for her, right? Tammy may have people on her team who are checklist people and they don't necessarily know that they're checklist people. And then Tammy goes, hey, Sally, I'm giving you a checklist from Monday through Friday. I think it's going to help. Let's see where it goes. And all of a sudden, Sally has this whole personal revolution about how much checklists make her life easier. So it's just kind of one of those little joyful moments that you can experience with your team. Okay, I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. I wanted to show you 2 more programs, and then I'm going to open it up to sharing about a couple of other programs that I want to hear you guys talk about. So I talked about Attract Well. Let me go into Attract Well a little bit. Attract Well is where our school lives, first of all. Second of all, it's where contacts meet texting, meet email, meets online courses, meets to-do lists, meets all of the things, right? Meets landing pages where people sign up for things. And then if they sign up for that, a whole series of events happen. That's all funnel work. And that's inside of our course funnel. Attractwell is about $40 a month and it's owned by really good people. And I love supporting them. So that's Attractwell. And again, this is the kind of thing that my team can put together for you. The only other thing I wanted to show you was Hootsuite. Does everybody know what Hootsuite is? Or something like it, right? So basically, I've got all of my social media accounts linked into Hootsuite. I don't want to say LinkedIn because that's not what I'm talking about. I've got like Facebook, all of my Facebook groups, my Instagram, TikTok, all of it is linked in here. And I can do a post here, blah, 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 blah. I can do a couple of images in the post. I can schedule this post to go out in a week, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, in 4 weeks. Again, this is something that my team can do for you if you share your brand with us, or we'll create it together. And then you can choose where it goes. So that's how to be in many places at one time. Let me just discard this post because I don't want it to go public. Okay, the only other thing that I wanted to mention, hi Maria, meow meow. The only other thing, you guys, that's my best friend. The only other thing that I wanted to mention is I'm like a little kid in kindergarten where you're like, that's my mommy. I am distracted. I don't even know what I was gonna say. So who wanted to share on Fullscript? I know a couple of you are like Fullscript gurus, and here's what happened. Yep, Sharon, I'm going to give you the keys to the queendom here as I introduce you. A lot of people were saying, I really need a solution for my supplements, for selling supplements without having to have a team member organize all of it for me. And I said, well, why don't we just combine what we're doing with the online programs with a program that is really known to be great at this. So the idea is you want to sell supplements, You don't necessarily want to have everything in house. You want to have your patients have a way to put an order in and get it delivered, but get you credit for it. Somebody on Facebook actually said, why don't you have a vending machine? I didn't think it was such a bad idea. Like, you could literally get a really big vending machine with like 10 bottles at a time can be dispensed. The person can put their credit card in and order what. I think it's kind of a cool idea. And then somebody was like, is that really a thing? And I'm like, I don't know, let's make it one, right? So Sharon, the only thing I ask of you is that if you are screen sharing, we can't see any patient information. So not even a name, okay? All right, so go for it, my love. Go ahead. I'm gonna just give you the floor for maybe 5 minutes. Is that cool? And then Tracy, if you wanna jump in and give us some information, that would be great.
That sounds great. Listen, put your hand up if I talk long, because I tend to be really chatty. Okay, I'm not really great at this, but I think this is how I do it. Share. Okay. So I'm already inside my dispensary. FullScript really changed my practice about maybe 8 years ago when it first came out. I was like reading some Facebook ad and it was like, we can dispense everything. You don't have to deal with, sales tax and inventory. And that for a small practice is the biggest pain in the ass. So with FullScript, you have a full online dispensary. You never have to deal with paying sales tax. They handle all of that for you, and they will pay you a payout. I get my payout every week, directly to your bank account, up to 35% of the manufacturer recommended price. Now, you're also in control of that. So you have 35% to play with. I offer all of my patients a 10% discount to order through me to help offset shipping, handling, all the annoyance of, not immediate gratification. The only thing I'll say about FullScript that can be annoying is their shipment time might be a little bit longer, certainly longer than Amazon, which is now feeding our immediate gratification needs, right? You can have it tonight by 5 p.m.
How do you, I learned by asking questions, Sharon.
Go for it.
My interruptions, 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I was told by FullScript yesterday that they only ship US and Canada.
And that may be true.
And how do you get around someone saying, well, I'm just going to go to the local health food store and pick it up? Or is it the 10% discount that you do?
Yep. It's the biggest reason I do it. And I'm single mom here for years and years and years. My husband's like, you're not single anymore, but I am the biggest price checker there is. And it doesn't matter what the product is. I'm going to check 14 different things online to make sure I am paying the cheapest, including shipping. And that's one of the reasons I do 10% across the board. And my patients, for the most part, all would rather support me than Amazon in particular. I often tell them, thank you so much, Mail. I often tell them, I said, hey, if you can find it cheaper, let me know. Why? Because then I can go in and check their
What
account.
about your patients who are not tech savvy, who don't know FullScript from a hole in the wall?
They make it really easy. So I was putting some things together here to make it really easy. 2 things you can do. 1, you have the ability to make wholesale orders. Okay. So a wholesale order is that, and I'll say it's probably about 90% of the brands inside of FullScript, which will probably be better than 90% of the ones that you normally use. They have some really strong brands here. But they will allow you to actually purchase wholesale. So you don't have to go purchase directly from Metagenics or Thorne. You can do it all through FullScript. They ship it to you. So you could have a small inventory here if you want. Really, really simple. Now, a couple of the brands don't do that. One of them is orthomolecular, and I'm a huge DHIST user. So that was a little bit of a pill, but I keep a small inventory. The other thing that you're allowed to do, and let's see if I put this in here. I knew we can't really see people. So hang on a minute. Can
you stop share and mess around with it for a minute?
Yeah, it'll take me just a second. Hang on a minute. Here I am. You're not seeing a patient, you're seeing me. Here I am. So one of the things that you can do, how do I get rid of the zoomy stuff on this side? Oh, maybe all over there. All right. So let's say that you have this product that you would like, patients sitting in front of you and you would like to order it. If I go here, add to the basket, you might notice that it does not put it in the basket up here. Okay. Instead, it's actually going to allow me to check out this. Come on, Sharon, you've done this 400 times.
Isn't it interesting the conversation we have with ourselves when we're doing
I know it's terrible, but I talk to myself all the time. This is what happens when you are staffless. No one's here to listen to me except me. This allows you to check out this product in your office. Okay, so you can basically order it for them. They can pay you right here, and then it will appear at their house.
That's really good. So that is the answer to, you know what you guys could do, Sharon, I'm just going to stop sharing for a second.
Go for it.
What you could do is you could, if you have regular orders, like say you put someone on, like I'm thinking about standard process and the SP cleanse, and there are certain products that you purchase with something like that, right? You could have a QR code just for those products, and the QR code could literally go to a basket inside a FullScript with dot, 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 dot in it. For the people who also use FullScript in this Zoom, what else do you want to share with us that will make it easier for people who are not tech savvy, for people to pay you before the cows come home for the products that they're purchasing, and for you to still make money on selling supplements? Karen, go for it, my love.
So I use.
Sorry, Sharon, hold on one sec, okay?
You got
it. Karen, go for it.
Okay, so I agree with Dr. Sharon, because I've done FullScript, and years ago I had a massive amount of supplements I sold, and then we had the internet and all that other stuff that happened. But the other thing that is really handy, and I just went through this morning, a new patient yesterday texted me last night, and she was having a hard time getting into FullScript. One thing to keep in mind, when you sign up for FullScript, they give you your own website. So my patients all get a place that they can log in through my portal. They make their own account, but you got to put us.FullScript. So a lot of people are so used to doing Google, they just put in FullScript through Google. Then they type in their information and it says, contact your practitioner. And then they get off.
You have to be really careful with the baton pass, the delivery. And that's where I think a QR code comes into play, where it's something really simple that's on a card. It's a code, and you say to your people, open up the camera on your phone, click on the yellow button that pops up, and that will take you right to where you need to order.
I think that'd be great, because what I told her last night, and I tell patients who get flustered, don't worry, I can, as Dr. Sharon had her screen up, I could start a new patient account for her. I just put her data in. I did all the recommendations. I found the supplements that I had recommended for her. I put it in her box. All she has to do is open up the email that comes to her. She's got everything in her cart. She can choose.
What I love even more about that, I'm always thinking, like, how do you feed two birds with one stone, and to make it as user friendly as possible, so that when your cup runneth over and you're ready to hand this off to a virtual assistant or even somebody in-house, it's cookie cutter. It's like, this is something that can't be messed up, right? Is there anybody else who's using a FullScript like program? Or Sharon, did you have something else that you wanted to add in? Trace, did you want to say something? I'm going to unmute you. Can you unmute, honey? There you go.
Yeah. I started using FullScript because I was losing my mind, placing orders, running to the post office. It was a huge waste of time and money. So I am using FullScript now, and they do have, you can actually copy and paste a link that goes directly to your store, so they don't have to find you. I do love sending the recommendations, but what is also nice is they have, and I'm not going to be fast enough to show you on screen, but they do have ways where you can put in templates for for greetings or for recommendations. If there's stuff you say over and over again, there's a place for templates. They also have a library of educational things if you want to send them something from their library. So there's lots of handy features. And I did see, I don't use EHR yet, but they do have integrations to work with EHR like Jane.
And you're right. So Erin's saying, I love the integration with Jane app. Erin, can you tell us how that works?
Yeah, it's actually super, super slick. You can do it right within the patient chart where you would normally like add a new chart entry, and it will give you the option to do a full script prescription form right through there. So you can actually start the account through that entry, and it'll actually auto-populate their email and their first and last name. So you don't even have to do that. And then you can hit save chart entry, and then you send it right to the patient. So you don't even have to go to full script. You can stay right in your Jane app account.
Maria, you hear that, right? That's crazy, you guys. See,
It's
can
so
you
easy
put
to
the
set
order
up.
in through Jane app?
I haven't tried that because I just usually send them the recommendation and then they just go ahead and literally order it from there. So I haven't tried that, but that would be cool.
Yeah, but I'm going to also say that one of my favorite things about Jane is you call them and they'll walk you through the whole thing. Like they're happy to do it. All right, cool. Any other thoughts on full script before we move on to other programs that make your life easier? Okay. Are you sure nothing else, you guys? I'm going to just remind you that with all of these programs, Sharon, did you have something else? Thank you so much, my love. With all of these programs, please make sure that you're compliant. Please make sure that if you're texting your practice members, you're not doing it from your cell. And if you are doing it from your cell, you're doing it through a HIPAA compliant program like Zingle. Please make sure that if you're using Gmail, it's being done with a BAA with Google Workspace, a business associate agreement. It costs $8 a month, you guys. It's super cheap to set this stuff up. Because if you take the time to set it up right in the beginning, it's the kind of thing where I have a HIPAA policy in my practice with HIPAA-Mate, another thing that we can set up for you. And I never look at it. I just know that it's there so that when I go to bed at night and I put my head on my pillow, I know that that's good, right? There are a lot of things I don't know are good. I know that that's good. So make sure that you do your homework and you set this stuff up right. Okay, anybody else have a program that just has to be talked about when it comes to programs that make your life easier? Cool. Anything else in light of all things Staffless Practice that you have questions on this week?
I will say something. I won't
Okay,
talk too
Dr.
much
Ken.
about it. But it's a technology solution to technology, which is the hole that we've dug ourselves into in the 21st century. But I find for myself and many people working in the program that a big obstacle is just getting started with everything. It's like jumping in, where are my logins? What are these passwords? And like, it just feels overwhelming at first. And the big solution is really just to step into it. And once it's like getting into a cold water, like the worst part's getting into it. Once you're there, it's not so bad. And another thing that's helpful is to have a password manager. And so we at Staffless use something called a RoboForm, which is actually really helpful because you can store all of your key passwords in one place and just automatically fills them in. So if it's part of the headache around using full script and getting into Monday and all these other things is like, what are my passwords, and just even generating new passwords, even that can just feel like an obstacle when you're already kind of in overwhelm mode. You can use RoboForm to save all of them, and it'll even just generate automatic passwords for you. So you don't even have to like think of something clever that you're just going to forget later, because we all do that. So there's stuff in our material for those who are coaching and doing our programs on how to get RoboForm set up. And if anyone's curious about that, you can always reach out to someone else and post in the club or reach out to one of us coaches and such.
Yeah, just for a minute, if you guys are new here, because we do have a lot of new members, Dr. Kent is here, Dr. Shona is here, and they're both our coaches here at Staffless Practice Academy. They're the best. So we're all here for you to learn from. And if you are an Academy student, check out the tech kit. It's hard to say. TECHKIT, and that's where all of your techie programs. Slack is another one. It's kind of like a group texting app, but you can turn it on and off. You can access it from any screen. If you do become one of our clients and you're not already, it's how we do all of our communicating. We actually had a tutorial in our team meeting today with one of our techie VAs, and she gave us like all these Slack secrets. It's really cool what this program can do. So, you know, there's one part of me that's like, there's a boogeyman involved because it's all like the big bad tech boogeyman, right? It's scary, it's overwhelming. Where do I even start? And then there's another part of me that's like, you're at a loss if you don't lean into this a little bit, right? It's totally doable to do life without any tech, but it can also make your life a lot easier if you don't go overboard with it. Let me just see if there, RoboForm is a really great password keeper, like Kent was saying. And if you integrate RoboForm, let me just screen share with you guys and show you what this looks like. If you integrate RoboForm with your Google Workspace, it will show up on any computer you're logged into your Google with. So these are all of the things that show up in any Google Workspace I'm on. So if I go, right now I'm in my home office, if I go to my chiropractic office and I log into my email, the same view will show up, right? So the other thing that I'm looking at what I keep here. The color dropper here, I just click it and I hover over a color if I want to pick that color up when I'm designing something. GroupKit is a really cool program where if I'm in my Google, I shared this during the Facebook program that we did. If I'm in my Google account and I let somebody into my group, I can create all kinds of automations for them to get in, and then an email campaign is sent. And again, these are all things that we can set up for you. Any questions, thoughts, or concerns, anything at all? Okay, well, go make the world better with great care then, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks, Dr. Sharon. Thank you. Thanks, Trace. Thanks, Karen. Bye, guys.
Bye.